What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the June update of the year-long Loot Tab project. If you are new to this series, there should be a card popping up in the top right of your screen right now. It will take you back to episode 1 from January. You can start there if you're interested in watching all of the progress that I have made up to this point. So basically, I'm saving everything that I get for the entire year of 2024, putting it all into a Loot Tab, and at the very end of the year, we're going to go through selling it all, opening up the brimstone keys, the clue caskets, all of that good stuff. Before we get into today's progress update, if you didn't know, I do have a merch store. It is over on Etsy. Everything in this store is old school RuneScape related, and it is all handmade by me in my office at home and shipped directly to you. All kinds of cool stuff in here. Beer glasses, beer steins, got some metal koozie tumbler doubles, aluminum signs, t-shirts, coffee mugs, all of that good stuff. So if you're looking for something old school RuneScape related, check out the merch store. You can find a link in the description below. All right, so getting into this one, as usual, we'll start out with my unique drops sold. These are the drops that I've gotten throughout the month that I sell immediately and add to the platinum token stack. Just drops that I deem unique enough to sell. Don't really care what the prices do, whether they go up or down. I just want to get whatever they're worth at the time. So starting the month off on June 3rd, I pulled some Dragon Throne Axes from the Alchemical Hydra. Not really a lot of cash there, but still something worth noting. It is a 1 in 2,000 drop. Following that, on June 12th, I did get a Whisperer task, so got some DT2 bossing in 4 Awakener's Orbs from the Whisperer on June 12th. Sold those for a little over 2 million. After that, I got a Vardorvis task, so a little bit more DT2 bossing. Awakener's Orbs from Vardorvis on the 13th, got 2 of those. Finished the task up on the next day on the 14th and managed to grab another one to sell. A few days later, Black Tourmaline Core from the Grotesque Guardians, got that on June 17th. And then June 26th, I pulled another Black Tourmaline Core, and rounding out the month on June 26th, I managed to pull a Hydra Leather. That was actually the very first kill of that Hydra task. Didn't see anything else for the rest of the task. Alright, so now that we have gotten the unique drops out of the way, we'll jump into my RuneLite tracker. You'll notice that it is quite a bit shorter than it was last month, and I figured out why. So if you don't kill something for a certain amount of time, it does disappear from the client-side RuneLite tracker. But if you go online and go to the online tracker, all of your kills and everything will be there, assuming you haven't reset it. Now, if you do go back and kill something like that, close your RuneLite and reopen it, the full amount will appear back on the tracker. So that was nice to figure out that my stuff just wasn't actually disappearing. So we'll get into this. I did start killing some Abyssal Sires. I am 2/3 of the way to a completed bludgeon. I figured if I do get some Abyssal Demons assigned in the Abyss, might as well go ahead and kill Sires, see if I can finish out that bludgeon just to add the however many million it is to the loot tab total. So 31 of those, haven't seen it unsired yet. I am going to finish the task out there. So that'll be, nice to do. Just a little change of pace. Haven't done any of those in a while since I do have it green logged. Next up is the Alchemical Hydra. 4,570 kills now on the year. Unfortunately, only gotten 2 Hydra tasks throughout the month of June. So the number didn't really increase from the month before that. Estimated value on that is 728 mil. Still behind on claws and falling further behind on the drop rate. Still only 3 of those in the 4,500 plus that I have done so far. Also actually behind on leathers too. So the RNG really hasn't been there as far as average goes for me. Some other stuff in here that we can check out. The Lizardman Shaman, I am doing those now very consistently whenever I get them and can do them for the Shaman, whatever you want to call them. The Dragon Warhammer drop rate did drop to 1 in 3,000, and I still need that for the log, over like somewhere between 7 and 8,000 kills dry now. So would like to see that just to get that on the collection log. Rune Dragons, I do every single task of those, regardless of whether or not that I've finished the collection log for that. I do want to get those done. That adds a hefty amount to the loot tab for every single task. Still chasing the Jar of Stone at the Grotesque Guardians. 2,414 kills on the year now, and I'm over like 6,500 or 6,600 total now. Still dry on that jar, 1 in 5,000 on the drop rate. It's driving me nuts, but hopefully I can get to see that soon. Some other stuff in here that are good values. The Skeletal Wyverns, 1,400 of those, and I got that Draconic Visage a couple months ago. Greater Necreals, not too bad, 11.6 mil for those. Abyssal Demons, catching up to the whip drop rate. They have been a little bit more forthcoming with their whip drops lately. 5,302 of those killed on the year for 17.9 mil. 8 Abyssal Whips at this time. As for everything else in here, not super interesting. Calphite Queens, I do 25 of those every task that I get. Calphite in the Calphite lair, and the only thing I need on that log is the pet. Mithril Dragons, I do every single task of those, trying to get those Chewed Bones or the Dragon Full Helm drop to get that cleared out of the collection log as well. And the rest are just other simple tasks that are nice to do for superiors or just for any other reason that I deem them doable. All right, so next up, we'll jump into starting to check out the loot. So if you're unfamiliar with this, or if this is the first episode you're watching, this stuff that you see in my inventory right now is all of my surplus. So I started out the year with exactly 45 million GP. Anything that I have made over that is surplus cash. So you can see 57 million cash is what I have accumulated over that 45 million GP. So I still have the 45 mil in the bank, and that is what I have over that. As for the runes, you might notice if you've been keeping up with the series that some of the rune counts are lower than last month. And a lot of these runes come from the Alchemical Hydra, which I didn't have very many tasks from. But I have been using these runes throughout the year as well for like my barrage tasks and anything else that I need to use them for. So the lack of Alchemical Hydra tasks throughout the last month has diminished those runes, as well as some of my weapons running out of charges all at the same time. So yeah, those counts have decreased just a little bit. But anyways, Chaos runes are up, so that's nice. 195,000 up from 176,000 last month. 106,000 Death runes, 122,000 Bloods, 123,000 Astral runes. So yeah, all this stuff is what I've accumulated, surplus from what I have started. And the potions are usually coming from Alchemical Hydra, as well as Grotesque Guardians for the Ceridoma brews. I pick up anything that I possibly can throughout the tasks. So let's see, what am I at for this month? This guide price looking like 152,679,586 GP on top of what we have in the actual loot tab. So this will be added. So we check out the value of this plus the loot tab combined. Looking pretty hefty. Good increase from last month so far from what I can tell for this. So let's go ahead and check out the loot tab. All right, so here she is, 786,148,796 GP in the loot tab. Adding that up with all of those runes and everything we just checked out, my current value is at 938.8 million GP. Not too far away from that 1 billion GP mark, and now since we're halfway through the series, you can pretty much double that, assuming I stay on pace for everything, and that is about what I'll end up with. And that is not accounting for all of the Brimstone keys that I have, the Dark Totems, the Clue Caskets that we're going to open. So all of that is also going to increase this loot tab value once we get to the end of the year, get all of that stuff opened. So I am pretty happy with where we're at now. Half of the year done, almost 1 billion GP in profit that we have here. So we'll check this out. 383 million in the platinum token stack. That is all the unique drops sold, and we'll go over that spreadsheet in just a bit. I did add some other stuff to that I had sitting in this tab. Some of the prices increased, so I wanted to get that done. As far as everything else goes, same stuff, just a different month. Coal, 53,000 on the stack up to that now, so should be over 100,000 for that by the time the year is over. Back up to the runes, or I'm sorry, the herbs. A lot of those coming from the Alchemical Hydra as well, but I do pick up herb drops. Pretty much every task that I do, they do add up over time, so those are nice to see those stacks growing. Some other impressive stuff that we're going through: 1,068 runite ores, 1,304 runite bars. So those stacks continuously just getting bigger and bigger. The battle staves are nice, 43 mil on the value for that, 5,315 battle staves. And the Dragon Bones, all coming from the Alchemical Hydra, now up to 65.9 million. Dragon Bones are up a little bit in price since they were last month, so fluctuations there, increasing the price on that. And as we get a little bit farther down, all of the ammunition that I pick up, I like to keep all that, you know, just nice stacks. 20,000 Dragonstone Bolt E's, those coming from the Alchemical Hydra, and the Onyx Bolt E's also coming from the Alchemical Hydra, 3,190 of those. And some other stuff down here, you'll notice if you haven't been keeping up with this, I did have a lot of granite items in here, but the granite hammer and the granite mauls did go up in price, so I decided to sell those, get the platinum tokens for it, and add it to the unique drops sold. So those are gone out of the loot tab. 6 dragon chains, 39 plate skirts, 16 dragon legs. I could alch all of those if I wanted, but I wanted to keep track of them throughout the year. Thought it was nice to look at. And everything else in here, you'll see some alchable items. Right now, I'm on that Sire task, so I'm on the Ancient Spellbook. I'll go ahead and alch those once the task is over. All right, to round out this video, we'll go ahead and check out the unique drops sold spreadsheet that I've got going on. So you'll notice in there, I did sell off all of the granite stuff, granite boots, gloves, hammers, mauls, rings. For whatever reason, like I said before, the prices increased on those a little bit. So I wanted to go ahead and get rid of them while they were up. So that added a pretty good chunk of change to the running total down at the bottom there, 383.7 million now. Added a couple more Abyssal Whips this month, as well as a couple Black Tourmaline cores that we saw earlier, another Hydra Leather. The Hydra Leather count up to 7 now, Black Tourmaline cores at 4. So yeah, once again, 383,713,000, all in the Platinum token stack from unique drops that I have sold off thus far. And the last thing we'll check out is all of the other little statistics that I've been keeping track of throughout the year. So that is bank value, my Slayer task streak, as well as experience gained. So my starting bank value compared to my current bank value, my gain/loss, or rather just gain at this point, is 1.25 billion GP. So that is how much my bank has went up. Obviously, not all of that is attributed to the drops that I've gotten along the way. Items do fluctuate. Some things are up, some things go down. But overall, 1.25 billion is what my bank value has gained this year so far. As for my Slayer task streak, currently at 3,111, 485 tasks completed this year so far. So it should be pretty close to doing 1,000 tasks throughout the year by the end of 2024. And as for the experience gains, don't feel the need to read it all off for you. If you want to pause the video and check it out, that is up to you. Most impressive ones are attack, slayer, and ranged, obviously. Hit points, good XP gains there, but you just get that as you go. 16.8 million for the year on attack, 34.4 million on the year for ranged, and 17.1 million on the year for slayer. Obviously, once again, we're halfway through the year, so you can probably consider all of those to be double by the end of the year, and that's probably about where I'll end up unless something unforeseen happens. So that is going to wrap up this month's update for the year-long Loot Tab project. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you've been following along throughout the year, I hope that you have enjoyed all of them. As always, if you did like the video, please leave a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Once again, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.